Wow. Here we go. So, I don't know. We were talking over coffee this morning. We're still over
Best coffee I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's
Rob's
gone. I
making
sipped it
his
about
own
a second.
super good. I don't know what you'd say, actually. You think it's like Starbucks. I think it's like...
you said it was good this morning.
It was good this morning. He makes mochas, but it's his own concoction. And he uses protein powder. Yeah, he's trying to be healthy.
I'm on the trend.
But we're talking about collegiate skiing, so I think that's something that we should discuss.
You do.
Because even though it's...
one incredibly unqualified source to one very qualified source, so...
I don't think I'm much more qualified than you are, but I mean, you just got back from Collegiate Nationals.
Yeah.
I don't know when this podcast episode's coming out, but
neither do I.
But you just got
Whenever
back recently.
we get our act together.
Yeah, exactly. But you did a vlog. You did a vlog last year. You're putting together a vlog this year. Talk about the experience from somebody who never went to college to ski, but obviously proficient skier, one of the best in the world. What's it like to go experience this side of skiing?
Well, I think I'm in my... Is it senior year, sophomore year? What's the third year?
Junior.
I'm in my junior year. Why is junior not the first one?
Are we going to get on a semantics
Makes no sense.
tangent right now?
Everyone kept telling me, what year are you in? I'm like, yeah, so it's my third year going. Obviously, none of which I've actually been to college with. I've had the lucky opportunity to film some of them and go for the first time with you as well, was the first one. But it's kind of the most...
Bennet, yeah,
it's the most insane experience as a water skier you can really be in.
All right, people have lives, and they don't want to sit here and listen all day. Two reasons why it's insane.
Instant.
Let's go. Rapid fire.
I'll put a clip over this. 7 a.m. Just the most insane scenes you'll ever see in your life. Screaming, music, art, like everything. Dance music, costumes, cheers.
There's a lot of spirit.
Just so much. It's not even the right word for it. Just insane. 7 a.m. I've never seen anything like it. And I guess the lengths that people will go to for their team, people that have never hit a ramp before, people that have never put skis on before, going over a jump to try to score some valuable points for the team and try to get them from 12th to 10th. But
kind of safe, but also kind of cool.
Incredibly
very
unsafe.
But also
unsafe,
very,
which
very
we will
cool.
talk about in a moment. But the camaraderie of it, and it's a solo sport, but it's kind of the only time I've ever seen skiing get taken as a true team sport, and that's a pretty cool way of doing it. Like, we have the pro-ams and stuff that sometimes it's a team, but realistically this is like, oh, okay, we go to college together, we live together for 4 years, I'll put my life on the line. Like Leah Maymont, she's a very good skier, because like we kind of judge a lot of the skiers that have never been over a jump is usually the college, kind of like UCLA, they don't have a jump in their region. They'd have to drive 10 hours to hit a jump.
They see a ramp for the first time at a tournament.
Leah Maymont's had the same experience as me. She's probably grown up very close to a lake, had professional coaching her whole life, like very, very high level athlete. And this nationals, she hit a ramp for the first time ever in the tournament. I'm like, you've had 24 years to experience jumping, and you decide for the first time with zero practice to do it. But her team didn't have a last jump score, so she needed to go do it, and she did it. So
that's pretty sweet right there. Just that reality that a skier who's been around it forever, who has had the option or the access, didn't take the baton and pick it up and run with it as far as like going off the ramp until later in life, in college, until it was for the team.
They had 3 women's jumpers. They needed a 4th score. There she was. I don't think she landed one, but she was very close. Well, my question for you is, what do you think is the best thing about it? You went, you were you were on the path towards a pro skier anyway, without college, I imagine. From what I understand, is that correct? If I just made stuff up, but
it depends on what you consider pro. But I'd already skied pro events for
so you were
years.
You were a pro skier on the path of being a fully fledged pro skier. Why did you choose to go to college?
I mean, I was quick answer. I was planning on going to college anyway. But really for me, it was like going to Collegiate Nationals when I was a kid. So I had a unique path because I got to cheat before a lot of people get to see it. I got to see Collegiate Nationals from like an 8-year-old perspective. So I went to Bell Aqua.
You went to Collegiate Nationals at 8 years old? Is that legal?
Yeah, they wrote me in. Yeah, exactly. I was a dock starter.
No,
I went to watch my brother ski at Collegiate Nationals in Sacramento, and that was it. Like 8, 9 years old, I was hooked. I'm like, okay, this is. I've been to I've been to tournaments, water ski tournaments. This is not a water ski tournament.
No.
This is something else. And you explained that a second ago.
Yeah.
And as a kid, that instantly became a goal. So I went to college to ski, and one of the things that you mentioned was the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's hard. It's easy to say that. It's hard to paint a picture of what that really means unless you've been to college, or unless you're close enough during one of these events like you have been to see it and experience it. But really, I don't think you really get a sense of it until you're on a team that's kind of got a shot to like make top 5 or make top 3, and then you can really sense what it's all about and how people come together like teammates in a sport that's super individualistic. And
big time.
And it's not just that it's happening at one weekend event. It's that you've had meetings together for semesters or for years. It's that you've had fundraising events together. It's that you hang out together. It's that you have each other's backs. You know, you're helping them fix a flat tire like on some random weekday, school weekday. Yeah. It's these things that pull you together. And then, oh, by the way, now you got to go ski. Yeah. And what you do on the water is not just for you. It's for all these people that you've been hanging out with for semesters or years. So I really think that's probably one of the coolest parts of and most important parts of collegiate skiing, even though it doesn't necessarily, resonate with a lot of water skiers who may be listening, like, that are on ball spray forums or that have gotten into the sport later in life. It really does. And so that leads me to the next thing. I think collegiate skiing is an incredible feeder mechanism for the sport. Yeah. It's not like 100% of people who go to college and discover skiing in college, because that happens a lot. I don't know what the percentage rate is, but a lot of people go to college and learn about skiing, competitive skiing in college. Some of them stick around.
I have an interest in
some of them love the sport.
Just to like super quickly interject there, like as proof, I spoke
Are you gonna sneeze again?
2 people, 2 different teams. Both of them went from, I think one team had 7 people about 3 years ago. One team had 2 people, and now both teams had 40 plus members in 3 years. And that kind of and they're not hardcore skiers. This is, I think, Western Washington was one of them.
Yeah.
And Auburn was another one, and they went from 3 to 7 team members to 40, and they're not all professional skiers that are rocking up. They're people that they've kind of found on campus and gone, hey, you want to try it?
Yeah.
And that I think I agree with is one of the craziest points of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, we just we mountain bike yesterday, and you were asking me about getting into the sport, and like it's quite easy to find trails, or it's not quite easy to figure out where to ride. And I was saying how that kind of friction of like learning how to find mountain bike trails and like, find people who ride kind of keeps the sport a little smaller. But at the same time, then you mentioned water skiing, and it's like, what's our goal? Yeah. Is our goal to grow the sport, or is our goal to kind of keep it for ourselves? Yeah. And I think if you ask different people, you're going to get different answers. Yeah. But at the same time, the beautiful thing about collegiate skiing is it doesn't really matter what the broader answer is, because collegiate skiing provides a way for people who otherwise wouldn't have a chance, provides them a boat for cheaper, a lake site for cheaper usually, access to some coaching for cheaper, and we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end of this, but it just opens the door, rolls out the red carpet in a sense. Maybe not the red carpet, maybe like the tattered red carpet, but it's still somewhat
there's still a lake and a boy. Like a set of boys there.
There's still access. Yeah. And that's what's killer about the sport is it actually primes the pump and gets people excited for skiing and exposes them to it in a positive light and changes their life. Yeah. And they may not stick with it, but they may come back to it. I got a lot of friends who ski collegiately, kind of recreationally, and then they got into collegiate skiing and learned to go around buoys or learned to go off the ramp or wakeboarded and transitioned to trick skiing. Yeah. And now they're like, like midlife, and they're trying to figure out how to get back in the sport. Yeah. Because they realize maybe it's their kids. They want their kids to grow up with this lifestyle, or they want themselves to have something to aim at to get healthy again. Whatever it is, if you plant the seed with collegiate skiing, that can go a long way to a vibrant, healthy lake life community.
that's something that I see, because I sometimes feel a bit hypocritical, kind of saying that collegiate skiing is the best thing ever, all that stuff, because I never went, and I still think
but you see it firsthand.
if I had the same decision, I still think I would probably make the same one. But I'm a very special case in that,
you're special,
in that
right?
aspect. Oh, I'm special, and that's the thing. I feel like for 95% of people, I think it's one of the only, slash if not the best ways to get still skiing. Most of it, especially from Europe, kind of where I'm from. Unless like I went to Chile and trained there, and I had other opportunities that allowed me to stay in the sport and be able to afford it and be able to go all that way. But the biggest thing is like it makes it so affordable for so many people. I was speaking to someone and they said their dues for the college was, I think, $200 a semester.
Yeah.
And we all know that you go to Florida, that's 3 sets. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's a way to keep. I think it's such a fantastic way to keep people in the sport at a point where maybe, I mean, college. No, everyone, like, it's the thing, right? Broke college student, but they're managing to find ways to get it done, get fundraising, do all these amazing things to just get themselves into the sport. And I think the heart of it is just one of the most insane things. Like the way, how they fight for their teams. And I will never speak to more passionate people than I do at a Collegiate Water Ski tournament.
I know.
Like we had 15 professional tournaments this year, and I kid you not, I would say probably top 5 most passionate people that I've spoken to. Every single one of them was a college skier at Collegiate Nationals.
Yeah. It's
whether it was in the bar at 2 a.m. or whether it was, but there's so much. We're pro skiers. We're incredibly passionate about it. But something about the way that these like collegiate skiers and these like people my age, kids my age, are so passionate about it, and they'll go to the ends of the earth to find a way to get funding for the team, find a way to get to Collegiate Nationals, find a way to score points. They will literally die for a point.
They will.
And we've seen it. We should put a crash reel together just for this. But
you should.
I'm
going to give you that assignment.
And like I say, even though I never went, it's one of the most insane opportunities for 95% of people out there, especially if you're from Europe. And I see so many people being able to make that jump, and it changes their life completely. So and that's pretty awesome to see.
So this is interesting because I want to take a tangent. We've kind of been focused on like the sport, like great for the sport. Mm-hmm. But you just mentioned kids your age, and if anybody knows this young man, Rob, he's not any normal early 20-year-old. You've done a lot. Yeah. You've seen a lot. You've traveled a lot. I feel like water skiing at the level that you've been water skiing at, and having that goal of trying to be one of the best in the world, has allowed you, ways to grow up quicker. Yeah. And kind of like become wise beyond your years in a way. Yeah. And so if you take a step back and you look at what's collegiate skiing doing for these young individuals, they're just breaking out of the house. Mm-hmm. They're out on their own. They're in a new place, a new environment. Often they go away for school, right? And we're communal beings. We need a crew. We need a tribe. So you show up, and often they find their tribe in water skiing. Yeah. Not because they want to go around buoys or go off a ramp. That's secondary, I think. They find their tribe because they're trying to find a crew of people that they can resonate with, that they can share hardships with, share triumphs with, share life with. And I think we underestimate how important it is that this skiing thing, them having a tribe and a community, is really a carrot for them to learn how to drive the boat, learn how to communicate with people, and like overcome, little BS like drama, high school drama. It's like, now we're going to graduate out of high school drama. We're going to learn how to work together. We're going to learn how to like organize a team.
You're telling me there's no college drama?
There is college drama, but it's different than high school drama. I mean, there's real life drama, but my point is there's all these skills, life skills, that it's kind of cool that you see some of these. Let's face it. You've got your ULM, ULL, Alabama. You've got some of these schools where it's just kind of the red carpet is rolled out, and all you got to do is show up. Yeah. And I mean, not all and you have to do.
But that's what I knew. I only ever heard of you from Europe. All you hear is ULL, ULM, because if you want to go to any different school,
it's going to be an uphill battle.
Pricey.
But think about it. A lot of these schools in the flyover states, in the Midwest, even here in Chico, Sacramento, like a lot of these schools that have teams, Western Washington, they are almost self-organized. It's like insane that they are still a thing. And so the skills it takes and the lessons you learn as a kid, college kid, going through the process, that's way more valuable.
Yeah. And
than what they're going to do in the sport. I mean, the sport's going to be here no matter what. Yeah. Yes, we'd love to have those fine, upstanding, young human beings in our sport, but I think it's even a bigger service to the world that collegiate skiing kind of gives them life skills that they wouldn't otherwise get, and then sends them out in the world and says, okay, go be a productive human.
Yeah, and I think you kind of made an interesting point there, because obviously as a European growing up, I literally only heard of ULL and ULM. They were the only ones, two little schools in Louisiana that probably no one else in the world really hears of. And that's kind of how I only ever saw it, and that's why I was always not against collegiate skiing, but it wasn't for me. Kind of, it wasn't the path that I decided to go. But then I go to collegiate nationals, then I see all these other teams. I'm like, how does Western Wisconsin or Western Washington, Iowa, all these freezing states that are like, how do they have these teams? Like, so they have 40 members. I barely know 40 skiers, and all of a sudden they're rocking up to college with 40 team members. And I think that was where it kind of opened its eyes to me, and it was like, whoa, this is not just I'm a pro skier, I want to go to college to get some free skiing, get an education, and get out. It's like these people are coming up to college having no idea what a pair of skis are, and they're literally getting it done, training, putting in the work. So many people I spoke to there were like, I started skiing 3 years ago, now I'm running 32 mile an hour, like, how do I get better, how do I do that? And it becomes, from they turn up to college as a green-eyed little, and then 3 years later they're absolutely crazy addicted to the sport that we all love, and that's what I think crazy. But I think we should finish on some questions. It's not gonna be the finish, don't we? But I kind of want to talk about the technical side of collegiate water skiing, because I saw a lot of crashes. I filmed on the first day. I filmed 43 crashes.
You counted?
I counted. I went through.
Are you OCD?
I red flagged them all, and I was like, these are going in a folder. But and that was just, there was so many crashes, and that's where I feel like
there's room for improvement.
There's room for improvement. But when you go to collegiate nationals, because I feel like we want to give people value on this podcast, when you go to collegiate nationals, do you have because I think I have it. Do you have 2 or 3 tips that you feel like you could give to any college team and be like, right, just tell the team this, and it'll fix 90% of the issues? Because I saw a lot of stuff that was relatively repetitive, and if you're a college team listening here, what would you tell them?
I mean, it's open-ended, but I think, I don't know how this applies to trick and jump, but for slalom, I would say stand up. One of the biggest things we see, and that's just in skiing in general, but you really see it in collegiate skiing, and that is, people are dragging their butts. People don't have the confidence to know that you can find support over your front foot, as a slalom skier, and that can change the game for you. Yeah,
and if you go out the front, it's probably because you were sat too far back, and then your shoulders told you to be forwards.
But it's really hard to really get somebody to believe that. Yeah. Until they feel it. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is
stand up.
It's a balance between how many practice rides have some of these skiers had. They haven't had enough practice rides maybe, or we know that practice makes perfect. So if you practice better, you're going to ski better. Yeah. And so that's one thing we'll talk about before we leave, is FPM is going to try to address that a little bit. But there is a need for just some basics, and athletic stance is the base of the pyramid for us.
And I feel like we were actually talking about this the other day, and a completely other subject was how you start in skiing is pretty much how you're going to finish.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason seems so incredibly hard to break habits in skiing. People can, but if you start somewhat on a good path, the path becomes way opened up for you. And that's...
I think that's a universal law in life, right?
Yeah.
If you
But it seems so easy. If you run badly, it's pretty obvious. It hurts. But for some reason in skiing, the natural movement is
to sit back a little bit.
To sit back and to set these habits that we know are bad. Yeah. But there's a lot of these teams out there that are purely just absolutely love it, and are just driving off passion and love. And that's, again, why I love going to Collegiate Nationals and trying to help out a little bit in that aspect.
Yeah, they're speaking to people stoked to have a boat and a lake, and they're like, all right, well, let's just go ski.
And I
figure
love
it out later.
Yeah. And that's kind of where, like you say, it's let's see if we can find a way, and that's what we've talked about a lot, and we want to hopefully release at some point, is finding a way to help these collegiate teams have some access to better information and just be able to go, right, you have 40 team members, let's figure out how we're going to get you guys, because it's not that hard. It's not, we're not talking about professional coaching that's going to get you to run 39. We're talking about setting basics. And that's something that I think needs to be done, and needs to be, because there's so many teams out there that love it, and just a few basics. And one thing I want to kind of say is, for you covered slalom, like for me, for jump is one. He's like, the amount of times I heard handle to hip. But if you think about here, you stand up and you pull your handle to your hip.
Yeah.
What's the first rule of when you teach someone to get up on two skis? It's don't bend your arms.
Don't pull
on your arms. Do not pull on your arms. And why do we go to college and go, right, let's go over
pull
the
your
jump. Arms in. So the amount of people that pulled their arms to their hips when they were jumping and slipping out the back, front, side, forwards, upside down. I don't know how you can do a full flip going 15 feet is wildly impressive.
Did you pull anybody aside, or did you just kind of
like watch? These people were shouting. I'm like, hey guys, no, like look at and that's the biggest thing for me in jump, is just like the knees, trees, freeze is the most overused phrase, but use it. The reason it's overused is because you use it. Relax your arms, find the middle of your skis, and then just freeze yourself there. Do not pull your arms to your hips, and do not pull yourself, because as soon as you pull your arms in, and even if you're locked there, you hit the ramp, you freak out, you tense, and you all of a sudden lose the connection of shoulders, hips, and everything together. So relax your arms.
Knees, trees, freeze. I can't believe you just used that.
Why? People say it, but it
makes sense.
It
still
like,
works.
Just don't bend your arms into the base just because you're trying to get the handle to hips for a sling. Or doing side slides or 360s or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not for
going over the ramp.
Just going over a ramp for the first time. But we'll talk about this more in the future, and look out for some exciting stuff.
Anything else you want to say?
I don't know. Is there?
I don't know. I mean, I think we covered a lot.
Video coming out in like a month, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I do think
shameless plug.
Well, it depends on when this comes out. I can't wait to see this collegiate vlog.
It'll be interesting.
You've been killing it. Last year's was cool. What do you hope to do with this Collegiate Nationals vlog?
I caught way more stuff. The site was.
What do you mean when you say stuff?
Just everything. More people, more reactions, more of D2, which was awesome. Because San Marco is, again, an amazing site. I would love to ski there one day. It's a little more spread out. And it was me, single man band, bushy eyed, first time ever trying to film a collegiate skiing event. And it was like, oh my God. And
it's hard to get it all.
And as a pro skier, I kind of gravitated towards the D1 side. So I was trying to watch, obviously, a lot of my good friends that I've known for years are in the D1 side. Yeah. So I went all the way that way. This year, as obviously Bennet's, you turn your head and you're at two lakes.
Yeah.
So it was super awesome to be able to interact a little more with the D2 side and be able to see them go for it.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome, and to kind of tell a few stories in there of, again, what we've talked about a lot here is the team, the passion, show the world how passionate water skiing is and collegiate water skiing is. And as someone told me, is you've always got to measure yourself against your 2017 college video. I got told that about 3 times.
Oh, really?
I was like, hey, that's no pressure, but we watch that every year. So
I'm sure you're going to outdo that at some point if you already haven't. But what did you interview any kids?
I got a lot. Got a lot of stuff.
Okay, no pressure, but pressure's on. We're looking for a good storytelling episode.
We'll find out. We will find out.
2023 Collegiate Nationals, Bennett's, Zachary, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great event. I'm glad you went to cover it.
It's one of the most insane.
I'm excited to see this episode.
It was one of the most insane things I've ever been to, and again, I thank everyone that had me there and everyone that welcomed me, because it would be easier to kind of see that guy went to college, what's he doing here, you know. But everyone welcomed me with such open arms, and it's like, hey, let's see how we can show you the best time that you can have on water. And yeah, I'm very thankful for those experiences, for sure.
What about just a quick mention of Bennett's and how they seem to kind of
just
like
smash it?
Yeah, every year.
Well, Jay is just like
they've been hosting Collegiate Nationals.
I've never seen someone have more sponsors in my life.
Yeah.
How they do it, who does it? I mean, Jay, I assume, but like they go out there, they get support from local. They have Canes as a sponsor. Like, how cool is that? But they go out there, they get support from the locals. They really like the whole every restaurant you go to, everywhere you go to, the daiquiri bar that we went to, pina colada daiquiri. Fantastic.
I think we found your weak spot.
But that was my weak spot. But every single person you go to in Zachary knows Jay and knows Bennet, and I mean, he just is such one of the nicest people in the sport, and I mean, all lake owners are, right?
Yeah.
We know. I have the opportunity to know a lot of them, but
not all lake owners open their front door to hundreds of people from all over the country.
Yeah,
like I just found footage the other day. I was looking through a hard drive of the I think it was like 89 nationals in U.S. Open, which was my first actual real nationals at Bennet's, and the view was like looking down the lake, and it's like terrible resolution because it's old camcorder, but Jay's house is there, so his house was there, 30 plus years ago, and he's been doing that for 30 plus years, 40 years probably, opening up their lake, Jay and Ann Bennet, and just saying, come on in. And this is what water skiing's about.
And this one was 2 weeks after Worlds.
Yeah.
Which obviously he was down there. He was getting a lot of students prepared, and to then go home, set up Worlds, and
there's a lot of other people too. Like I know what you see is old previous skiers giving back, previous collegiate skiers giving back. I mean, at the highest levels like NCWSA, you've got Christy Kingsmill, who grew up skiing.
Scott Greenwood still goes and shows his
Trent
face
Finlayson
and drives. Trent,
was chief driver, I believe.
Yeah.
You've just got this. That's why
Chris Warden ripping them jumpers in.
Yep, exactly. Who's a transplant now because of skiing. Like he's now.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have gone to college in the US, he wouldn't have lived there. It gives people access to a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's awesome. But I think we should call it a day there. Do we have to go work out?
What are you getting tired? You got to pee?
We've got to work out.
That's not how you end it. You don't just draw hard.
We drew. We've come to an end. I feel like we've talked about it. So not the
do you
end
have to go do your hair?
No.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.